Now, I know you done heard about Jeffrey Dahmer. You done heard about Wayne Gracie. You done heard about all these serial psychopathic killers, but have you heard of Herb Baumeister?
AKA the I-70 Strangler. The question is, was he an American serial killer or American vigilante?
Because they say this man was cleaning up the streets. Don't cancel us now, LGBTQ. We're not saying he was cleaning up the streets, but a lot of people, because he only targeted gay teenage boys and gay young adult men.
So let's take it back to his early life.
Some people said drug dealers too, though.
Also drug addicts and drug dealers.
So they said it was cleaning up type of deal.
So let's take it back to his early life just a little bit. They say he was pretty strange. He was diagnosed with schizophrenic. He was actually diagnosed with being paranoid. He never fit in with the in crowd at his school because they was into sports and he just wasn't. And with direct relation to one of y'all favorite serial killers, Jeffrey Dahmer, he even had an obsession with dissecting roadkill with his father, which is pretty strange because that guy did the same thing.
I'm going to tell you though, it's crazy because he's extremely successful.
Yes.
This ain't like someone that's just a regular person in a regular 2,000 square foot, 1,800 square foot house type of deal. This is someone that's rich, owns 18 acres, has a huge house, farm. Like, this man owned what?
He founded the Save-A-Lot thrift stores back in like 1988. Him and his wife, Juliana Sater. Which she said when they was together, they was married for 25 years, and within the 25 years, they only had sexual intercourse 6 times.
But they had kids out of those 6 times.
So he has some strong potent they wag, that didn't even make no sense. And she also said she never seen her husband nude in 25 years of marriage.
Which lets you know something messed up, something ain't right.
But they asked some of his old colleagues and co-workers and whatever, and they all pretty much said the same thing. Dude was strange as hell. He even got like documents that he was actually strange as hell mentally.
It make you also think, were them really his kids?
Yeah, because 6 times 4 kids, that is pretty strange. But what started all his troubles was actually one of his kids. Once they bought the Fox Hollow Farm, him and his wife, 18 acres of land, that was in Indiana, right?
Yeah.
They started Fox Hollow Farm, all this land was theirs. One of their kids, they had 4 sons, went outside to go play in the woods that was on their property and found the skeletal remains of a human body that was partially buried.
Now the FBI, I don't know if it was the FBI, but some federal agency came to them and was already pressing the issue, but she wouldn't let them on the property, on the land. But I guess they were trying to say he was involved because before they bought the farm, all the bodies were found on I-70. And it was a pattern of all these young gay men being strangled, all of them.
Let me give you a rundown on some of the victims that got hit up. You had a 15-year-old boy named Michael Petrie. Everybody said he was a male prostitute. You had a 22-year-old named Maurice Taylor. He was also a homeless dude, so he sold himself to other dudes to make money to try to make dude. You had, what it was, Delvoy Baker.
Delvoy Baker.
A 14-year-old
gay
prostitute. You had Michael Riley.
All gay prostitutes, by the way.
He was 22.
You see the pattern that this man took.
Eric Rodiger, he was 17-year-old, but he was just considered a drug addict. And Thomas Clevenger, he was 18 and a prostitute for males. But his family actually denied him being a prostitute and being gay.
Yeah.
So these 11 bodies back in the 80s up until the 90s were found either naked or partially naked along Interstate 70, which is up there in Cleveland and Indianapolis. He targeted around a 4-block radius of these gay bars and was choking these people out with strangulation somehow and dumping their body either naked or partially naked. And the police kept finding these bodies but had no suspect. But after 1991, when Eric bought this farm called Fox Hollow Farm, bodies just stopped showing up.
And this is when his son found the remains of a young boy
on his property, and to this day, over 10,000 body fragments of different I think it was all gay men, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
different gay men.
Some of them they don't know at all.
They don't know for a fact. They haven't identified.
They haven't identified like 4 of them so far.
So they found a crushed up skull fragment, crushed up fingers, cut up this, messed up that.
But it's 11 boys and 11 young adults remain so far. You know what I'm saying?
How many have been identified so far?
I believe 8 altogether been identified. It might be more than that.
So the police was like, so hold up. Since you got this farm and all these bodies was found there and the I-70 stranglers disappeared, they put all that on him and like, yo, you was our suspect. So once he got this notice that he was the suspect, buddy took his own life.
He went on the run, man, because his wife finally allowed the police to come search, and when they found a whole bunch more bodies on his property and all these little fragments, they were crushed up, bone pieces, burnt bone pieces, whatever he was smashing them with and burning them with, he took off. He went on the run and then ended up writing a 3-page, I don't know if I could use that term, he unalived himself note, right? He wrote a 3-page unalived note basically saying how he regrets how he messed up a park. I don't know what that had to reference with. How he felt bad about his broken marriage. How his failing business. What he felt sorry for his failing business. He felt responsible for that. But he never, not one time, mentioned anything to do with these victims' remains. Never, not one time. Never admitted to unaliving anybody.
Never.
In a 3-page unalived letter.
Yeah, but he
never one time said it.
But he was identified from multiple people as the I-70 strangler, as the person that these gay young men and boys was leaving with in different vans and vehicle. That they all the witnesses identified the same person from the look to a lineup to the picture and said that it was him. Then coincidentally, after they bought this farm, all these getting the killings didn't stop. They just bodies went from I-70 to Fox Hollow Farm.
If you have people up there in this area in Indiana, right, this is what they're doing, because there was actually a person, Jeffrey Jones, that was from Putnam County in Indiana, that came up missing in like August 1993. Well, this is like the latest person to be discovered, because he had like a relative with the DNA. Him, Alan Livingston, it was a couple of them later on where their relatives came forward and said, I believe one of my people came up missing. You can do a mouth swab. And these are their people that came up missing. So if you felt like you had a gay sibling and they came up missing in this time around this little area, geographic area, you might want to go get a mouth swab, man, because that'll help for the people that are unidentified from the fragments that they did find. You know what I'm saying? So at least you'll know.
So truthfully, this was a really twisted, sick dude who could sit there and crush up all this, over 10,000, not bodies, but different human parts and fragments has been found on these people's farm.
And my mind goes to like,
the wife had to see this.
How can you not?
How bring home these people? The wife had to see this. I believe she had to see it. Not saying that she did or didn't, just my alleged that she had to see it. What brought this story to attention to us, because we actually seen it, somebody sent it to us, we read the comments, people was praising this man.
People was saying he was cleaning up the streets.
Now we're not saying we agree with that. Just a question we asked.
Back in these days, you know, they thought gay people and lesbians, they thought that was a mental illness too, you feel me? But they're saying this man is an angel sent down here because Sodom and Gomorrah in the Bible, which is, hey.
If you read the Bible, you read the Bible, you feel me?
If you're a Christian, you know.
You know what?
Shout out to Chick-fil-A.
I'm not saying, we're not saying that we agree. Because the part that got me was some of the ages of some of the victims, 14, 15, 16, like these are still kids, you know what I'm saying?
My thing also goes to like, bruh, if my life was on the line, you know, I could probably take someone else's. You feel me? But for him to just voluntarily go out there and just hold somebody until they're unalive, that's kind of crazy, bro. You're sick. You're sick, bro.
He was
to really
diagnosed
be
with
perfectly
schizophrenia.
fine to be doing this type of stuff.
He was diagnosed with